You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome to the SmackDown RunDown. I am your host, Nikolai, and I am joined once again by my co-host, King J.
The king has arrived.
That's right, and we are also joined by our producer, Killer Kev, who may be popping in every now and then, but the man's busy, so even if he doesn't, he's always here in spirit no matter what. But he's holding down the show as usual. And Sierra's holding down the chat room with us as well. That's in the Angry Marks chat room, that is. Even if you're listening to us on the download, if you can't make it in the chat live, you can download it on iTunes, angrymarks.com, or whatever other venue you can find us on. So we have a very important show tonight, so let's just get it going and get it on the way. What do you say, King J?
Let's do it.
Yes, this week is the final SmackDown before the 2012 Royal Rumble. And what did you think of tonight's episode of SmackDown? Do you think it helped lead into the Rumble, or what else do you think of it?
All in all, I enjoyed SmackDown tonight. I think that there were some parts that led into the Rumble and then other parts that could have been left off the show altogether.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. The opening segment of Big Show, Daniel Bryan, and Mark Henry definitely built towards the Rumble. It just lasted so long. It went on and on. I think it definitely lasted longer than any of the matches on the card.
Definitely.
But tonight we're not going to focus too much on SmackDown because we do have to review the Rumble itself. But on the topic of SmackDown, there were about 8 matches tonight. One of them didn't take place. And that one was the returning Randy Orton taking on Wade Barrett. And that match never even got underway.
Yeah, it didn't. I actually like the way they did that because it didn't give Wade a loss. He didn't have to put Randy Orton over in a way. I mean, he did because he got his ass kicked in that brawl, but...
Yeah, all it did was build their feud. They brawled, fought all around the ring. Referees and superstars tried to split them apart, and all it did was get everybody RKO'd.
Okay, let me ask this. These two were scheduled to face each other in a match, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Our astute friend Frank Vaughn pointed out to me, then why the hell are we throwing in a bunch of referees and clearing the back to stop them from fighting? I thought the whole point of setting up the match was so that they could wrestle each other.
That's a damn good point.
That really is.
I guess what the point was that it was so out of hand in the first place that they couldn't have any control over it to start the match. I don't know. That's a really good point.
Just let him slug it out, and you'll get control of the match as it goes on.
Yeah, I mean it never really is explained why that ever happens, but you always see that when guys brawl. That happened last week actually on Raw with John Cena and Jack Swagger. But match never got underway.
Yeah, but you didn't have a bunch of referees coming out and separating them either. They let the ass kicking go on, then once it was done, referees come out and clean up the mess.
Right, but that match never even officially started either.
Well, that's fine, but let the guys take care of their business. They're supposed to be out there fighting. Let them fight. Don't send out a bunch of referees to break it up before they even take it to the ring.
True. I do see that because it was weird. The refs didn't show up last week on Raw till after the fact. But this week, Tay Long made sure no one was going to throw some big brawl down.
I mean, I don't get it. He schedules a fight and then he interrupts it. I mean, that's like listening to Obama's speech the other night. He cancels the Keystone Oil Project and then says he wants to drill for more oil. What the fuck?
Yeah, they should have definitely put Wade Barrett up against with somebody else and have Randy Orton come out, and then you have all the referees separate them. I think that would have been a better build and made more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But this really did nothing but to further this feud and maybe build towards the Royal Rumble. It didn't do anything for the Royal Rumble, but if you want to use your imagination, you can just imagine that Orton and Barrett will meet each other at the Rumble.
Yeah, it'll most likely be announced on WWE.com.
Yeah, if not a one-on-one match, they'll have it. They'll meet each other in the Rumble match itself.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple other matches on SmackDown tonight did nothing towards the Royal Rumble. Not the match, not the pay-per-view. It was just random matches put together. As random as Santino Marella and Yoshi Tatsu teaming up.
I thought Yoshi was a Raw superstar.
No, at some point he was switched over to SmackDown. It actually happened during a battle royale. That Yoshi Tatsu was randomly. You know what? It was actually around the time Christian was in the battle royal. He won it and faced Alberto Del Rio for the title before the ladder match.
Oh God, that was forever ago.
Right. And for some reason Yoshi Tatsu was there, and then he's on SmackDown ever since. Or he's been listed as a SmackDown superstar ever since.
How about they just make NXT a roster and just leave them on there? Because that's the only time you ever see him.
He's been there for the past few weeks. So, yeah, they might as well leave him there. Other matches on SmackDown that didn't really lead to the Rumble, which I don't understand why this is happening. Drew McIntyre is back again for another week. Wasn't this fool fired last week and the week before?
Drew's been fired since the beginning of time. I'm a Drew McIntyre fan, but this whole I'm fired, slow babyface turn, just pulled the trigger already.
And now he's back. Teddy Long gave him another chance, and he loses again. This time to Sheamus. And at this point, I think Teddy Long is just toying with him.
I really think he is. I think he's just going to keep toying with him until he snaps again and makes Teddy Long cry again.
It's probably from all the abuse that McIntyre gave him years ago.
True. But I will admit, his match with Sheamus was good.
Oh, yeah. Nothing taken away from the match. It was good, but I just don't understand what they're doing with him. And I bet Drew McIntyre will be in the Royal Rumble match.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, he's not fired. Or ever will be.
He got new tights tonight. He's not fired.
Yeah. New tights means you're still sticking around.
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes had a rematch with Justin Gabriel. Non-title, of course. Okay match. But the more important part was pre-match. Cody Rhodes gave a promo saying that he's going to win the Rumble and headline WrestleMania.
I like that promo. And I like the fact that they gave this little mini feud between Justin and Cody a second week.
Yeah, and no Hornswoggle. Sierra with that.
I'm so glad that he wasn't even involved.
Wasn't even on the show.
And that works for me.
Brodus Clay showed up again. This time, faced Alex Riley. Nothing.
Wait, there was a match?
Yep, 15 seconds.
All I remember was Naomi. I just saw her dancing. And I was like, oh, she's gone.
This SmackDown was boring tonight. Now that I think about it.
You know what? It kind of was boring. I thought it was just me because I have a cold and I was out of it because I'm on medication.
I mean, Hunico had another match with Ted DiBiase and he got the win, and which was good. I'm glad Hunico gets a win. I didn't want to see him take another loss.
Definitely. I think it was good to have him win. After they cheated him with that doggone flag on a pole match.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with him, though. Because they have him in this somewhat feud with Ted DiBiase, but are they going to do anything with... Is this like a placeholder till Sin Cara gets back, or...
That's a good question. I'm wondering what happens if they're going to put them back in a feud. I hope not, because Hunico has his own personality now.
Yeah, I think if they put him back with that, it'll take away from him.
Yeah, and he's running around with Camacho, so he has a little good thing going for him right now.
Definitely.
One more thing to bring up, and we're going to get on to the Royal Rumble stuff, is the main event was Big Show versus Mark Henry, and this did not last long because out of nowhere, Mark Henry just fell. I don't know what it was. He was, simply punching Big Show, and then all of a sudden he collapsed. He fell down in the ring, and the reports say that he has a hyperextended elbow. But, I mean, this guy is not having any luck. He shouldn't even be in the ring right now because he's still recovering from his pulled groin injury.
Yeah. As much as I'm a Mark Henry fan, I feel bad for him because he's having no luck right now since he's been champion, because he had the groin injury. Now he has this injury.
I feel bad for the guy, I mean, he's been very entertaining lately, especially in his promos and when he was on commentary 3 weeks ago. I mean, Mark Henry has his personality back, but physically he's moving around slower. Like I said, he shouldn't even be in any matches, but yet he has such a strong presence that they insist on keeping him on TV. And now, what does this mean for the Royal Rumble? I mean, he has a pulled groin. He may further hurt himself on SmackDown, and it was clear on TV. Like, what's next? And from what I heard, Big Show kind of injured his back, especially after last week's SmackDown tapings, because he was in the dark main event. I mean, is this match doomed to fail?
Why is it always the SmackDown end that always ends up having the people injured and have no work matches? Not so much the Raw side it always typically happens like right around WrestleMania when people start to get hurt.
I don't know. I think people are putting a lot of expectations on themselves and try to go the extra distance, and then they push themselves too far. People need to slow down because this is a pivotal time of year when you're a superstar. You're already on the road to the Royal Rumble. You don't want to hurt yourself before the Rumble, let alone hurt yourself to the point where you can't make it to WrestleMania. But this is getting out of hand. Like, there's no more main event for SmackDown almost.
Yeah, I just kind of wish, like, I understand you want to put that extra effort forward because it's right around WrestleMania time. But at the same time, you need to protect yourself and make sure that you stay healthy so that you can have a WrestleMania.
Exactly. I don't know what this means. I haven't heard any official follow-up from tonight or anything leading up to Mark Henry's involvement in the Rumble. But before we get to that, I just want to go back to earlier in the night from the opening segment of SmackDown, and Sierra points this out in the chat room. Like I said, Mark Henry is just golden on the mic right now. He's working hurt, but when he's on the microphone, he's dropping some hilarious comments. He came out, told Daniel Bryan that he doesn't care, all this love fest is going on. He doesn't care about Big Show's hurt feelings, because earlier Big Show's almost in tears because he wants to give it up after the Sunday, which I don't believe. He doesn't care about Daniel Bryan's Napoleon complex. And he said, I damn sure don't care about some little 95-pound girl in a training bra. Oh my god, I could not stop laughing when he said that.
I know. And then he's like, come over here when I'm talking to you. I said get over here. I was dying.
I thought he was Scorpion for a minute. Get over here! And he just basically tells Daniel Bryan that I'm going to tear your skin off on general principle.
Like, I felt like I was a little kid again getting yelled at by my parents. Like, get over here now! I was like, dang.
That was hilarious. I'm not going to front. I miss... If Mark Henry's going to be out for a while, I'm going to miss him because he's been the bright spot of SmackDown for the past 6 months. Ever since they started building him back up.
Yeah. Like, having Mark Henry on there, having him, like, getting to have fun, being that angry, pseudo-angry black man, I'm really enjoying it because he's just going out there saying what he wants and telling it like it is.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Daniel Bryan is definitely a heel. I think it's safe to say that Daniel Bryan is a heel now. I mean, he came out to yell at Big Show. He slapped him in the face twice. He's trying to convince Mark Henry to hurt Big Show. He's trying to convince Caitlyn to tell the Big Show to quit and leave. He is definitely egging them on, and now it's getting better. The promos I can do without for a while, but the backstage stuff, that's actually playing off better for me. I don't know. What do you feel?
I could take or leave his promos because he's kind of bland when he talks, but the backstage segments when he's like talking out both sides of his mouth, I enjoy those. I kind of enjoy his promos when he's like getting in someone's face and then they snap on him, because in real life that's something that could possibly happen.
Now, there's one more thing from SmackDown to bring up, and this isn't really important, but this is just going to get the fun out of the way, because this is what we do here at Angry Marks. We provide you with great recaps, news, commentary, and podcasts. And some of the best parts of podcasts are the rants. And King J, I know you have a rant built up right now, and I'm going to lead you into it because earlier tonight we had Natalya, Oksana, and Teddy Long in his office, all to build between a match between them two, and we finally get Oksana in the ring for a one-on-one match, her debut on SmackDown, and she pins Natalya in 5 seconds in her first match. Natalya again eats a loss. We don't care about her. But, King J, I want to know what you think.
Where do I begin? Okay. I'm cool with Oksana finally getting a match. I'm cool with her and her little creepy Black Widow thing that she's trying to do on SmackDown. But, Natalya, did you eat some beans out of Rosa's refried beans or something? Because you farting on TV is not okay. You losing every match every freaking week is not okay. I understand you trying to put Tamina over, but at some point you need to say enough is enough and snap. Your heart. I know that you're crazy. Get it together. I'm not for the whole, where is Tamina? She's going all Superfly on me. Why did you not? Obviously, she was backstage. Why did you not track her down and attack her? You know, the thing that she did for you for 6 months when she first debuted? Why didn't you do that? Why can't you locate Beth Phoenix, the douchebag who CM Punk used to date, and go gang up and attack her like you were doing Kelly and Eve for months? Why can't you do anything? I'm not understanding the fact that you're this third generation diva. You talk about, oh, I love the WWE, but I'm all pin up strong now, but you can't do a damn thing. You keep getting rolled up every freaking week. You get Samoan drop, Superfly splash, roll up. Change something up. I know your heart. I know you have a counter for a doggone roll up. Because it's to the point where I'd rather see Bret Hart and his jorts on my television screen than see you. And you're 10 times better looking than him. And if I actually want to see Bret Hart's non-talking, greasy-haired self, it's a problem. Go find your drug addict dad. Do something. Because it ain't working right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard another epic rant on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. Oh my god, I am so sick of Natalya at this point. She is more of a jobber than AJ, or Caitlyn, or anyone else you can think of. She is a jobber now. She is jobber to the stars. They are putting Tamina over. Natalya, there's no hope for her anymore. And you mentioned Beth Phoenix. God, where the hell has she been? You know, she hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown. She's been being the douchebag, according to CM Punk. Beth Phoenix has not been on Raw or SmackDown since mid-December. Okay, she was on Superstars last night. Yeah, the Divas Champion was on a web show last night. Has not been seen since December 19th, whatever episode that Raw was, where she got blasted in the eye by Alicia Fox. So the champion, no word or mention of where she is or where she's been, can't even show up on TV. I'm done. I don't even think the Divas of Doom are together anymore.
I forgot that we had a Divas champion. Like, no lie, like, you remember back in the 90s when they stopped the division for a year and they had no title and it was just Jacqueline and Sable running around trying to attack each other for Mark Mara? That's what it feels like now.
Yeah, even Ciara is asking in the chat room, are the Divas of Doom still together anymore? And they don't even exist. That stable is long gone. I don't even think they've even teamed up. They actually, you know what? They've been teaming up on WWE house shows, but really, that doesn't do anything anymore. I mean, the only
they've
time
been losing on the house shows.
Exactly, losing, taking the pin. Even still, the only time house shows matter is when there's a title change, like Primo and Epico, who I love. I love that tandem right now.
Yeah, but real quick, back to the Divas. I want to take the entire division, put them in a box via Jesse and Festus or the Dude Busters, whichever one gets to them first. Send them to Canada. Send them to Bret Hart's house. Let them be his house guests for the next year. Because at this point, the only one I want to see is Layla. Other than her, I don't care about none of them.
I miss Layla. All right, well, let's take a brief commercial break, and on the other side, we will start to run a preview of this Sunday's 2012 Royal Rumble. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for news on Lindsay Lohan going to jail, Oprah Winfrey's book club, and Britney Spears' latest album to hit the charts? Then take a hike, jabroni! Amped Radio has the latest professional wrestling news, rumors, and the best industry interviews. The Bowling Alley, The Shoot Club, In the Room, and much more. Catch us on the web at www.ampd-radio.com. Internet radio that will blow your freaking mind!
Hey everybody, this is Stevie J from the Thursday Night AngryMarks.com Pro Wrestling and Mixed Martial Arts podcast. You don't want to miss our fabulous show. Peter H., the Hardcore Canadian, and I discuss everything going on in the world of wrestling and MMA every Thursday night on AngryMarks.com. You can check us out there, or you can check us out on iTunes, keyword Angry Marks. That's the Thursday Night AMP from Stevie J and Peter H., the Hardcore Canadian. It's a great show from the AngryMarks.com podcast network.
We are back with the SmackDown RunDown, and you just heard a commercial for the Thursday Night AMP. And if you know AngryMarks.com, we are having our annual Royal Rumble pool. And if you gave your name to Peter H., and your name is in the drawing, you might want to go check out last night's episode of the Thursday Night AMP, because they did a live drawing for your number if you are involved in the 2012 Angry Marks Royal Rumble pool. I've got my number, King J. Did you get yours?
When did all this happen? Because I missed all this.
They did it towards the end of the show. You might... that would be a good chance after SmackDown RunDown or sometime this weekend. Give it a listen, and you'll hear your number.
All right.
So, with that said, let's get our preview for the Royal Rumble. And so far, there are only 4 matches listed, but of course, things can change, matches can get added. That's always happened. That's actually happened every pay-per-view recently. So let's start with the matches that's listed, and first we'll start with John Cena versus Kane. I'll go first. I think that Kane should get the win. And whether he does or doesn't, though, John Cena will definitely embrace the hate some way or another. What do you think?
I agree. I think Kane should go over, because I think you put John Cena on a losing streak, he'll get more and more pissed off, and then by that time, The Rock should be coming back, so he'll start making fun of him again. He'll get more and more pissed off, and yeah, I think it'll work out that way. But I could see them giving John Cena the win in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kane get the win here, especially coming back recently, and I think this is actually a good storyline with the Embrace the Hate and Kane getting in Cena's head and all. I don't know. I want to see how this plays out.
I'm actually kind of interested in the storyline somewhat. Like, I haven't been watching Raw in the past month or so, but I've seen the clips with Kane, and the storyline seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, so this is definitely an intriguing storyline for me. So, other match, and we'll get this out the way since we talked about it earlier. Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry versus The Big Show in a triple threat steel cage match. And with the two giants most likely working hurt in this match, that further makes me think Daniel Bryan is going to win, even though he was my original pick when this match was being thought up. This is a good way for Daniel Bryan to escape the cage while they're brawling and down for the count. I don't know if he'll get the pin, but I see him escaping the cage. What about you?
I think he'll escape the cage. He'll either climb out or slide under the door. I mean, I think this is a way to legitimize him as a champion by having him, in a way, go over both giants and established wrestlers in one match. So I see Daniel winning and losing at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's a very good prediction. Let's play matchmaker for a minute and let's book Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett 1-on-1. How do you see that going?
If they do put that match, they'll put Randy over. Because they have to have Randy Orton always come out on top. But I want to see Wade Barrett win, because it'll be more interesting that way.
Yeah, if this match does happen, Randy Orton will definitely go over. Even though I like Wade Barrett and his Barrett Barrage, Randy Orton would be the one to go over. So
he's kind of like your evil golden boy, so yeah, he'll go over.
Yeah. Next match on the card is the WWE Championship on the line as CM Punk defends the belt against the up-and-coming main eventer, Dolph Ziggler. Not to mention, Johnny Laryngitis will be the special guest referee. He's already mentioned that he plans to screw CM Punk at the Rumble, but last week on Raw, or last Monday, which was earlier this week, the board of directors gave him a fax that said if his job will be under evaluation after revealing he will screw CM Punk. So now Triple H is going to evaluate him, and he could possibly be terminated as the Raw GM. If this new news comes into play, do you think Laurinaitis will call it down the middle? And if so, if not, or who would win this match? Give me your prediction on this.
Me, I want Dolph to go over. I really think he's ready to have a legitimate title run. But I could see the swerve John Laurinaitis is going to try and pull backfire, and CM Punk ends up winning.
For me, I see CM Punk winning just for my pick at the Rumble. But I don't know how CM Punk will win. All I know in my gut is that Punk will retain the belt. Whether he gets the 1, 2, 3, makes Ziggler tap on the Anaconda Vice, or there's a disqualification. Royal Rumble title matches never mean a thing. They hardly ever change hands, and it usually gets somebody over in the main event. A couple years ago, it was Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Later on, Jeff Hardy went on to main event and become World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Champion in the same year. Sheamus was put in that same spot. He's now 2-time former champion. Ziggler, I see him being in the main event and getting the title, even though if you really want to count him as a former World Heavyweight Champion, even though it was for only 8 minutes, he's definitely main event level. He's had the United States Championship for a long time, and then now he's getting primed in the main event. This is definitely his test, but I still see CM Punk going over.
Yeah, I mean, with the rumors that they have plans for Punk and WrestleMania with the WWE title, I could see them, even if they did take the title off of him, they could easily put it back on him at Elimination Chamber. So,
So now that leaves the Royal Rumble match itself. It's no longer 40 men because that was only a one-time deal. It's gone back
stupid
to
as
30.
hell.
Yeah. It's gone back to 30 superstars, and what they're promoting now is that anybody is eligible, any and everybody, and that can only probably mean that Hornswoggle is eligible, even though he was in it 1 year. Dolph Ziggler could very well be in it, even if he loses the WWE title match. Big Show, Mark Henry, anybody. It kind of like weirds me out that they're really pushing that part of the Rumble.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think that one of the champions in one of the matches, this could be the way that they could screw Punk and then have him win the Royal Rumble. Or possibly, in a way, set up his going against Chris Jericho if they're still going with that idea.
Mm-hmm. So, as of right now, all I have for confirmed names for the Royal Rumble are Sheamus, Heath Slater, Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Jinder Mahal, Santino Marella, Cody Rhodes, R-Truth, Chris Jericho. Mick Foley was announced as being eligible. You can definitely see Randy Orton in there. And the only person who is actually assigned a number right now is The Miz, because he lost to R-Truth on Raw. Now The Miz is the number one entrant in the Royal Rumble, and Seth Draken has him in the Royal Rumble pool. So, Seth, I feel bad for you, buddy.
Watch him be eliminated right around the time number 17 comes out.
Well, that's all the names that I have taken note of. I don't know anybody else who could be in it. Hornswoggle could very well be in it, but this is the one event that I love because it's so unpredictable. Anybody can go over. You know, even if it's not an entire main event guy, someone close to the main event could win the match. Like last year was Del Rio. He was almost in the main event, but the Royal Rumble put him in that spot. So,
yeah, definitely.
What's your prediction? Who do you think will win the Royal Rumble? Keep in mind that the Rumble is in St. Louis, Missouri, and no, Evan Bourne will not be in it, and he will not win the Royal Rumble match.
That idiot. Oops, did I say that out loud? I kind of have a top 4 of who I'd like to see win the Rumble. I really want to see Wade Barrett win it because he's been on a roll and he's been putting on consistently good matches. So I could see him, and with the whole, if you competed earlier, you can be in the Rumble. I could see if Dolph Ziggler doesn't win, I could see them possibly pulling the trigger on him and having him win the Rumble. I don't want to see Randy Orton win the Rumble. It's not just because I'm tired of seeing him. It's just, hasn't he won it like twice?
He doesn't need it. He won it once before.
Yeah, he doesn't need to win the Rumble. All he has to do is come out there and say, I'm Randy Orton. I won the champion this many times. If I want the title, I will take the title. That's all he really has to do. So, I want it to be someone who deserves to be propelled into the main event, either on Raw or SmackDown, not someone who's established and, yeah, I've been champion so many times, I won the Rumble, so same old crap. I don't want to see that anymore. And I have a feeling that Brodus is going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah, if anything, I think Brodus should be number 2. Just so that he can come out dancing with the girls and face The Miz for the first 90 seconds.
Yes.
That would be fun. And then R-Truth becomes number 3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if I get to see Naomi at the Royal Rumble, it'll be the greatest pay-per-view of 2012.
So, to finalize, your picks are
Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, or Cody.
Cody. Okay. Barrett, Ziggler, Cody. That's not a bad set right there. See, for me, I would say 2 from SmackDown, 2 from Raw. From SmackDown, I could see it being Wade Barrett because he is really believable. He could definitely be put in the main event at any time. Same thing goes for Sheamus. Sheamus has nothing going right now. He's not necessarily in any feud except for with Jinder Mahal for whatever unknown god awful reason. But anyway, Wade Barrett and Sheamus have a good chance of either winning the Rumble. From Raw, if Ziggler loses the WWE title match, I see him entering the Rumble also, and possibly winning that as well. But my number 1 pick, not just from Raw, but for all, would be Chris Jericho. That way that sets up Jericho versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. I would love to see that match. Not just because of what's been going on in the past or what comparisons people are putting together, and not only for each of their catchphrases, like CM Punk says he's the best in the world, Jericho says he's the best in the world at what he does, but just for the simple fact that these guys are awesome wrestlers. CM Punk always puts on a good match. Jericho has been in a good match no matter who he faces. So seeing them one-on-one and at WrestleMania and for the title, that would be epic to me. I would love to see that match.
I agree. But what would you think if instead of him winning the Rumble, he ends up costing Punk the title during this title match? Just out of the blue.
Now, I want to ask you a little prediction. No matter who wins what match at the Royal Rumble. Let's look ahead towards the Elimination Chamber. Who would you put in both chamber matches if they're for the titles?
For Raw, I would put CM Punk, obviously, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, The Miz, Kane, and Cena.
Yep, I see that. Something similar. I don't know if I would put Miz and R-Truth in there. I don't know. For me, I would say CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, Kane, John Cena. And the last two, I don't know. I'm going to leave that blank for now, but yeah, it's quite possible R-Truth and The Miz could be in it.
For SmackDown, I think I predicted it like at the end of last year. I see Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Cody, Big Show, Mark Henry. Because I don't think Christian will be back. So
mine, for me, it would be Daniel Bryan, Big Show, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, and if Mark Henry is too injured to be in it, then yeah, put Cody Rhodes in there. So we pretty much have the same exact mindset, and Cody Rhodes is definitely making his presence felt that he wants to be in the main event.
he really is, and I think that's a good thing to have a mid-card person who says, I have aspirations to get into the main event. Not just being happy about being in the main event. Stir the pot. Make it known that you could be a big main event player at some point in your career. I think that's the mark of a future champion.
I agree. Everything looks like it's leading up to the Elimination Chamber in WrestleMania. The picture is starting to get a little bit clearer. So all we can do is sit back and watch and see what happens at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not that excited for the Rumble. It's one of those events that you know is happening every year, so I want to be excited, but they haven't really built it up like they have in the past.
Yeah, my issue with the Royal Rumble this year is that they're not putting any hype into it, and it's the 25th anniversary of the damn pay-per-view. Put a little bit more effort into it. Put some more entertaining matches on there. I mean, I don't feel like they care about it this year. Last year, they hyped it up so hard, but it might be just because it was the 40-man Royal Rumble. But whatever, you still have to hype it up. We say this every weekend before a pay-per-view.
Exactly. And it's felt like for even last year, that the majority of the pay-per-views, they haven't really built them up the way they could have built them up. Like they leave matches till the last minute, or you only announce 4 matches, and then you throw in a bunch of matches on the pay-per-view, and people are sitting there like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Why is such and such having a match? Like they always randomly throw in a tag team match. It's like, they were feuding?
Right. Oh well, we'll just have to find out what happens this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, and I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of SmackDown Rundown. So, King J, I'll let you get your closing plugs.
Okay, maybe King J doesn't have any closing plugs.
Wait, what?
We were giving you a chance to give your final thoughts on the show, and
everything went silent on my end, so I didn't hear anything.
Oh.
What is my motivation? I ain't got none!
All right, well, let's try this again. King J, any last words for the night?
It was a decent, boring SmackDown. I hope the Royal Rumble actually turns out to be good. That's it. Oh, and Sierra wants us to say hi to her panda, so hi. I don't know.
All right, well, hi to Sierra's pandas, who had more shine on last week's episode of the SmackDown RunDown. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. Huge shout out to the chat room for holding it down. And for King J, for Killer Kev, we are saying good night, and we'll see you next week.